Robert Kiyosaki is an American businessman and author, writing self-help books on personal finance education. He is also the creator of the cash flow board and software games that educate adults and children about business and financial concepts. To this date, Kiyosaki has written more than 26 books, including this one, which is an international bestseller translated into 51 languages with over 32 million copies sold worldwide. I stumbled upon Rich Dad, Poor Dad, What the Rich Teach Their Kids About Money That the Poor and Middle Class Do Not, first published in 1997 on a top 10 list of books on finance at rank number 10, so I decided to start from the bottom of that list and read myself upwards. It advocates the importance of financial literacy, financial education, financial independence, and building wealth through investing in assets, real estate investing, starting and owning businesses, as well as increasing one's financial intelligence. To start off, this is not an how-to-do book, but rather an anecdotal how-to-think book, so it functions more as a motivational book rather than a personal finance book. As such, there are no real advice on what to invest in. Instead, it encourages people to learn about the mindset of the successful, the financial market, about accounting, investing, taxes, etc., and put forth questions like, what is an asset? What is a liability? What puts money in your pocket? And what drains money from your pocket? On one side, we have the mindset of Poor Dad. Love of money is the root of all evil, while the Rich Dad thought that the lack of money is the root of all evil. Poor Dad in this book is his biological father, a well-educated man with a PhD from some random top university with a stable middle-class job employed by the government. The so-called Poor Dad always told Robert to study hard, get a good degree and work his way up. The important things to him were job security with different benefits. Poor Dad never reached financial security and passed away in leaving no inheritance for his offspring. Apparently, Rich Dad in this book is the father of his best friend Mark, an entrepreneur cashing in the cash, owning a construction company, a bunch of small supermarkets, a bunch of restaurants, and some warehouses. Rich Dad, according to Kiyosaki, was the one who taught him to think in a way that led him to amass wealth. The main reason people struggle financially, according to Rich Dad, is because they've spent many years in school but learned nothing about how money works. The result is that people learn to work for money, but never learn how to have money work for them. To me, that sounds like a correct statement. School is, in my opinion, not there to teach you anything except for becoming a brainwashed consumer and wage slave worker for serving the rich elite. What you learn from reading this book are old cliches as poor people try to save money whereas the rich invest, and live below your means, and never go into debt for luxury items, and take risks, but learn as much as you can about the subject before doing so, and the system is, as we know, rigged against the ordinary man, so start a corporation. To quote the book, there is a difference between being poor and being broke. Broke is temporary and poor is eternal. And if you are the kind of person who is waiting for the right thing to happen, you might wait for a long time. It's like waiting for all the traffic lights to be green for 5 miles before starting the trip. And tomorrow only exists in the minds of dreamers and losers. And the most successful people in life are the ones who ask questions. They're always learning, they're always growing, they're always pushing. After finishing Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I started researching a bit about the person Robert Kiyosaki, and so far there are no evidences whatsoever that the so-called Rich Dad ever existed. And there's also no proof of the author amassing any sort of wealth before the book got public. Apparently, this book got no attention in the early days after it got published, but rather after Kiyosaki started to hang around people involved in multi-leveled marketing schemes like Amway. After that, it exploded and became a bestseller. Kiyosaki has also been involved in several of his own companies going bankrupt, which comes to no surprise reading about after finishing the book, as he advocates a pay-yourself-first strategy, and that he actually finds having debt collectors on the door as a motivation to go out and find more opportunities to make money on. Kiyosaki is first and foremost a seller, and as such he also promotes his seminars and his board game in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I did enjoy reading this very small book from the first chapter and all the way out through its 336 pages, which took me about 1 day to read. It does become a bit repetitive at times, but sometimes you need to read and hear the same thing to get it to stick in your retarded little hairless monkey brain. As stated earlier, this is first and foremost a motivational book, and even if it's all based in fantasy fiction land, it still got me motivated to pick up another personal finance book directly after finishing this one. So, the score ends up on 3 out of 5. I found it worth reading, but I will most likely never ever read anything by this author again. Peace out.